Alan Ritchson's Reacher may never reunite with the special investigators, but Jensen Ackles' new show has a similar team-up. For fans of Alan Ritchson's portrayal of Jack Reacher, the appeal has always been straightforward. A lone wolf with a sense of justice that doesn't rely on bureaucracy, a man who doesn't need a team but somehow leaves a trail of allies impressed by his sheer competence. Reacher is a drifter, a problem solver who moves like a hurricane through a corrupt world. Yet one thing Reacher has never been about is forming long-term partnerships. Unlike other action heroes, Reacher's closest collaborations are brief, situational, and often professional. The fleeting nature of these alliances, while narratively satisfying, leaves a tantalizing "what if" in the minds of viewers. What if Reacher had a recurring team? What if Alan Ritchson could reunite with the special investigators, or a comparable squad of skilled operatives, to tackle long-term, interconnected cases? The short answer, at least for now, is that this is unlikely. The Reacher series, whether on page or screen, has been meticulously built around the concept of the solitary wanderer. Each season leans into the idea that Reacher's strength comes from being unbound, unpredictable, and untethered. He is as much a philosophical figure as he is a physical one. His moral code is internal and immovable. Introducing a permanent investigative team would risk diluting the essential tension that Ritchson embodies, the tension of one man against the system. And yet, the longing for a Reacher-esque team-up isn't something fans need to dismiss entirely. Jensen Ackles, who has spent years mastering the art of the antihero and ensemble dynamics in shows like Supernatural, has stepped into a similar arena with his new series. In this show, Ackles doesn't play a wandering drifter, but he inhabits a character whose success depends on collaboration, intuition, and a carefully balanced team structure. It's the kind of narrative that Reacher fans might crave, that combination of charisma, competence, and interdependent teamwork, but without sacrificing the edge of danger and unpredictability. The difference between Ritchson's Reacher and Ackles' new character lies in narrative design. Reacher is structured episodically, even when adapting multi-part novels. Each story is largely self-contained. Reacher arrives, untangles a problem, delivers justice, and moves on. The episodic nature mirrors his lifestyle. By contrast, Ackles' show seems built for serialized tension. The team he leads or is part of interacts across episodes with stakes that compound, forcing viewers to invest in interpersonal dynamics as much as procedural triumphs. It's a compelling shift where Reacher relies on surprise and sudden brilliance, Ackles' ensemble leans on strategy, trust, and the subtle art of reading human behavior in high-stakes scenarios. For fans who have followed Reacher from Lee Child's novels to the Amazon Prime adaptation, this dynamic is both familiar and intriguingly foreign. Familiar because both shows revolve around skilled protagonists who confront high-risk situations with sharp intellect and physical precision. Foreign because Ackles' team is inherently cooperative. Each member has specialized skills, and the show frequently showcases how collaboration, not solo heroics, resolves the tension. This approach creates suspense that feels layered rather than linear, giving viewers a sense of complexity that a single-person narrative can only suggest. In a way, Ackles' series is what Reacher might have looked like if he were designed to exist in a world where he couldn't act entirely alone. It explores a Reacher universe without Reacher himself, showcasing how a team can approximate the thrill of a solitary hero while introducing relational stakes that Reacher intentionally avoids. Fans who imagine Ritchson's Reacher interacting with recurring special investigators may find this scenario surprisingly satisfying. It offers a glimpse of what could happen if the wandering problem solver were forced to negotiate loyalty, collaboration, and compromise, elements that are often absent from his solo adventures. One of the fascinating aspects of comparing these two approaches is the way both handle moral codes and conflict resolution. Ritchson's Reacher operates with a rigid sense of right and wrong, often bypassing legal or bureaucratic constraints to administer justice. His actions are instinctual and immediate. Ackles' character, by contrast, is part of a network that must negotiate ethics collectively. Decisions are debated, lines are drawn collaboratively, and the consequences ripple across relationships. The tension here is subtler but just as gripping. Will the team agree? Will trust hold? And can moral clarity survive when filtered through multiple perspectives? This is the narrative richness that a team dynamic brings to a genre that Reacher has historically dominated solo. Fans may also notice stylistic echoes between Ritchson and Ackles, even across these structural differences. Both actors bring a combination of physicality and charisma that commands attention, whether in a one-man fight scene or a coordinated team operation. Ritchson embodies the raw, kinetic energy of a man who can dismantle an opponent with brute skill and strategic timing. Ackles channels intensity through collaboration. He may not always be the one executing the takedown, but he orchestrates outcomes with a precision and authority that fans of Reacher intuitively recognize. This is important because it demonstrates that the appeal isn't just in the solitary heroics, it's in the embodiment of competence and calm under pressure. Both actors excel in conveying that sense of control, even if the context differs. Another layer of comparison is audience investment. Reacher thrives on the audience's vicarious thrill of being untouchable yet morally anchored. The Reacher viewer knows that, despite the odds, the protagonist will deliver justice on his own terms. Ackles' show, in contrast, leverages emotional investment in the ensemble. The stakes are higher because failure doesn't only affect one man, it affects the whole team. For a Reacher fan who has always been drawn to watching Ritchson handle problems solo, Ackles' narrative offers a complementary thrill, the suspense of collective competence and the unpredictability of human dynamics within a high-stakes framework. So, why does this matter? Because it highlights a growing trend in action storytelling, the fusion of solo hero tropes with ensemble dynamics. Reacher fans may never see a permanent reunion with special investigators, but shows like Ackles demonstrate that the essence of Reacher, brilliance, decisiveness, and moral clarity can survive and even thrive in team-centric narratives. It's a subtle reminder that audiences are not merely looking for the lone wolf fantasy. They are seeking intelligent, skill-driven problem-solving in whatever form it comes. The hero may shift from solitary to collective, but the excitement remains. Moreover, there's a narrative elasticity here that both franchises exploit. Reacher's solo arcs emphasize self-reliance and moral independence, while Ackles' team-based storytelling emphasizes strategy, coordination, and emotional intelligence. Both approaches rely on tension, surprise, and stakes, but they do so through different lenses. One appeals to the instinct for unbridled autonomy, the other appeals to the intellect and relational dynamics of high-functioning teams. Together, they create a complementary spectrum of modern action storytelling that enriches the genre as a whole. It's also worth noting how both shows engage with the theme of trust. In Reacher, trust is situational and pragmatic. Allies come and go, and relations,